Hello and welcome. You're watching To The Point. As the likelihood of Narendra Modi becoming the next Prime Minister grows, are India's minorities, artists and intellectuals right to be apprehensive? Or are they overlooking the innate resilience of India's culture as well as its democracy? Later in part 2, Javed Akhtar answers that question in a revealing and insightful way. But first, what should we make of Narendra Modi's Ram Rajya and caste appeals, his stress on Bangladeshi immigrants and his taunting of the Election Commission? Is there a pattern behind all of this, or is it just a collection of stray events? And joining me now to try and understand Narendra Modi and the BJP's campaign as it enters the last critical stage is BJP spokesperson Siddharth Singh, Trinamool Rajya Sabha MP Sukhendu Shekhar Roy, Congress spokesperson Randeep Singh Surjewala, and the chairman of APCA, Badshah Sen. Badshah Sen, in the last few days, we've had a succession of events that have made a certain sense of apprehension in people's minds. There's been the Faizabad rally with the Lord Ram background, Narendra Modi's repeated stress on Bangladeshi immigrants, the taunting of the Election Commission, Amit Shah's claim that Azamgarh is a den of terrorists, and then, most recently today, Mr. Modi's Dumariaganj speech, where he laid a lot of continual stress on his caste background. And people ask, is this just a collection of stray events, or is there a pattern we need to detect?
Well, I don't much, there is a certain pattern which we can refer to, and the first of this is that it's actually each of these events appear to be in defiance of the Election Commission and the election regulations of this country. So whether it is a reference to caste or seeking, coming under the shelter of Lord Ram, waving that little lotus symbol around immediately after the voting, after he voted in Ahmedabad, there seems to be an effort on the part of Mr. Narendra Modi to sort of come out in open defiance of the Election Commission. And I'd like to remind you that he did this in 2002 with the Chief Election Commissioner, James Michael Lingdu.
And so it's a pattern repeating itself.
At least there is some parallels between the two, I'd suggest.
And do you detect a measure of overconfidence because he believes he's on the brink of a historic victory? Or is he worried that the seats that still have to be won tomorrow and then on the 12th are critical, and perhaps it's anxiety that's prompting this? Which is it?
It's difficult to say with any degree of certainty. I would suggest he certainly gets overexcited. He might be excited because he's confident or because he's worried, but it's excitement that leads him to some sort of aberrant behavior which seems to be taking place.
Siddharth Singh, let's focus first on that speech in Faizabad yesterday delivered against that backdrop of Lord Ram. Arun Jaitley has said that it was in fact an error of judgment, that backdrop shouldn't have been there. But if you look at the number of times Mr. Modi deliberately invoked Lord Ram against that background, most people would say it was deliberately done. That background was there for the very purpose to enable him to invoke Lord Ram, and he invoked Lord Ram at least 5 or 6 times in that speech. So was it an error of judgment, or was it actually deliberate?
Karan, what Mr. Jaitley said, it's possible that the backdrop could have been an error of judgment. It normally happens in elections or otherwise also in big rallies. If you do it in Faizabad, an area there, that you have a backdrop which has a Ram picture. Now, I have a different take on it. Purushottam Ram is considered to be a secular face in India. How come his picture become communal by my adversaries here and raising this issue? So are they saying that showing Ram picture, it becomes communal? My question is to them. In my understanding, he is a secular icon.
Well, no, you're playing around with that concept of secular because the truth is he's a Hindu god, and as a Hindu god, he has to belong to a particular religion. But can I come back to Arun Jaitley's point? Arun Jaitley claimed this was an error of judgment, and the question I ask is this: if therefore it wasn't intended and it wasn't done deliberately, why did Mr. Modi not have the background covered up? Or why did he not begin his speech by saying there's been a mistake, this shouldn't have been there, and distance himself? He did neither.
Karan, I would love that you accompany us in one of the public meetings when you get onto the dais. I don't think any speaker, and that is Mr. Modi's level, at our level also, we don't turn around and look at what is there at the backdrop. So it generally passes on that basis. And to say that no, it should be covered, I don't think it is possible. It doesn't even strike your mind on it.
All right. Ranjit Singh Surjewala, I want to pick up on that first point that you heard from Siddharth Nath Singh, that in fact Lord Ram is the icon of secularism in India. Now, I'm sure you remember this. In 1989, when Rajiv Gandhi had his back to the wall, he launched his election campaign that year from Faizabad, the very same city, promising Ram Rajya, precisely what Mr. Modi promised. If it was okay for Rajiv Gandhi in 89, when the Babri Masjid movement was at the height practically, why is it not okay for Mr. Modi in 2014, when the Babri Masjid movement and the Ram Temple movement is almost forgotten?
Mr. Thapar, let me begin by saying that religious ideals and religious figures belong to everybody in this country, but the constitution and law requires that you cannot appropriate them for political purposes. Having said that, what happened in Faizabad is not a one-off mistake, as Mr. Jaitley states. There is a concerted design happening here. Mr. Modi began with the Masiha of development, forgot to bring in the Vision 2025 document, and did not bring manifesto till after the first phase of polling. Then they went on to polarize Mr. Amit Shah, Mr. Giriraj Singh, Mr. Subramaniam Swamy, and all others that you mentioned, including Baba Ramdev, were a symbolism of
Mr. Surjewala, what about my question? You very delicately sidestepped it. I said that if Rajiv Gandhi in 89 can launch his campaign from Faizabad promising Ram Rajya, why can't Mr. Modi in Faizabad in 2014 promise Ram Rajya? Rajiv Gandhi set the precedent.
The answer, Mr. Thapar, is no. The answer, Mr. Thapar, is very, very simple. Indian National Congress, irrespective of religious belief, and I am a deeply religious person myself, we do not wear our religion on the sleeve, because our religion is only the Indian Constitution and people of India. So to appropriate religious figures and gods for petty politicking because you are losing an election or because you are scared of losing an election.
Let's not come to losing an election.
That is objectionable.
I think the first half of your answer is incredible enough. And the first half is this, that the Indian National Congress, because it's secular, can promise Ram Rajya, and that is not a breach of the model code or any of the constitutional requirements. The BJP, because it's not secular, if it raises Ram Rajya, becomes in fact a breach of the model code. Do you buy that line? It's a very convenient one, but is Congress being hypocritical when it talks in those terms?
Absolutely. I think that that votes should not be sought in the name of God. It demeans God to begin with. Any God you actually have faith in, you don't go around begging on using his name and begging for votes. So first and foremost, these people, whether they are in the Congress or the BJP, have demeaned God. And then they have demeaned the law. You're not supposed to raise religious slogans. You're not supposed to raise the name of God at all, or any God.
But also the other point is that Congress can't complain if Mr. Modi does it when Rajiv Gandhi did the same thing from the same city.
Absolutely, the point, yes. I mean, that was a point which I hadn't remembered. Yes, certainly.
Mr. Sukhendu Shekhar Roy, I want to take up a second example of what's happened in the last few days and raise that particular issue with you. How do you interpret Mr. Modi's remarks about Bangladeshis in Bengal? Do you accept the line given by Arun Jaitley that Mr. Modi was simply repeating what the Supreme Court itself has said? Or do you believe that he was conveniently, under the disguise of repeating what the Supreme Court has said, actually seeking to polarize the environment because he knows that if that happens, the BJP could benefit? Which, in your eyes, do you believe was happening?
Before I reply to this specific question, I want to comment on the statement made by Mr. Jaitley regarding the use of the image of Lord Rama in Faizabad, that it was an error of judgment. I cannot say whether it is an error of judgment or comedy of error, but it is incumbent upon all the political parties not to use religion, particularly during election time.
Absolutely.
And the image of Lord Rama should be in the temple, and Lord Rama should be worshipped in the temples and in private places, not on a political platform. This is my first objection to what Mr. Modi has done or BJP has done.
Now come to the Bangladeshi
Now the question
issue.
that you have, Now the question, yes, Bangladeshi issue, I am afraid that the way Mr. Modi is spreading venom in Assam, in Bengal, in Tripura, in some other parts of the northeastern state, the way he is speaking against the Bengali-speaking people who had to leave their ancestral home due to partition of India or due to political disturbances during the liberation movement of Bangladesh, that they will be pushed back. I don't think that Modi, or for that matter any other person, can do that.
Okay.
They should read the Refugee Convention of the United Nations of 1951 and the 1967 Protocol of the United Nations, and they must respect the refugees. Even our Supreme Court, in a plethora of cases, have ruled that refugees have a right equally as the Indian citizens enjoy under Article 21 of the Constitution.
You're absolutely
to live
right.
with human dignity.
Just a moment.
I am aware. I am surprised. I am surprised that a legal luminary like
Pause a moment, Mr. Roy. Don't say everything in one answer. I'll give Mr. Siddharthnath Singh a chance to counter a very good point made by you. The point is really this, Mr. Siddharthnath Singh, that Mr. Modi didn't simply talk about illegal immigrants from Bangladesh. He actually went on to make a distinction in terms of those who observe Durgashtami, and that's clearly Hindus. And he contrasted them with those who don't, who are obviously Muslims, and that is a distinction made very crudely in terms of religion, and it's a clear attempt to polarize between Hindus and Muslims, and that's why I put it to you, it runs against the grain not just of Bengali culture, but our constitution.
Well, let me put this, Karan. I am in Calcutta. I am in charge for the West Bengal elections. Let me also clarify, there is illegal immigration, a huge problem in Bangladesh, in West Bengal, and here we follow what BJP has said is very clear. There are two types of people coming from Bangladesh. One is an oppressed class which is being discriminated on the basis of religion. Unfortunately, in Bangladesh, they become minority, they are the Hindus, and those who come for seeking illegally into India without any valid passport or anything permission, they are Muslims for earning the, so they are
you're making a distinction. I want to question.
Please allow me. So please allow me. So they are given shelter here on the basis of the vote bank politics.
Forgive me.
So that's what exactly has been put across.
I want to interrupt because I think that clarification.
Now let me give a very valid point.
No, just a moment. Before you go on to making valid points, I want to interrupt you because I think I need a clarification. Just a moment, Mr. Siddharthnath Singh.
Karan,
pause a moment. Take a breath.
I have a serious problem to hear you. So please allow me to make one more point and then I'll hear you out. Karan, let me give on the religious discrimination. It was the TMC, Congress and everybody who refused to give a refugee status to Taslima.
Forgive me. Let's not get involved in details that confuses the issue. Pause. I want you to make a clarification for me. No, Mr. Siddharthnath Singh, I think it's essential you pause. Listen to me. I think it's important you pause. On what basis do you decide that Hindus coming from Bangladesh are refugees and they are oppressed, but Muslims are illegal? How do you know the Muslims are not equally oppressed? How do you know they're not looking for shelter? And just a moment, let me finish. It's only, Mr. Siddharthnath Singh, you have to let me finish.
IMDT Act.
But you have to let me finish. You're answering without my finishing. The second point, just as you believe...
I'm so sorry because your system which has come to me, there is a problem in hearing.
I apologize for that. Just give me a moment. I apologize for that. Just as your party believes that Hindus in India want to give shelter to their co-religionists in Bangladesh when they are oppressed, India's Muslims have an equal right to give shelter to their co-religionists in Bangladesh when they are oppressed. Both people can be oppressed. Why do you decide one is oppressed and the other is an illegal immigrant?
Fair enough. I've given you the example of Taslima. Didn't I give you an example on Taslima? It is these secular parties who objected to her because their vote bank was being, it affected their vote bank.
That's a very convenient example. It doesn't prove anything beyond just the fact that politicians sometimes are their own worst enemies. But it has nothing to do with the truth of the matter. So let's not bring it up. Mr. Surjewala, the point that's being made, and I agree that it's a bad point, but it's being made basically to prove that actually your side is equally to blame when it comes to the politics with which you view Bangladeshis looking for shelter in this country. You chose to make Taslima Nasreen look as if she was not an oppressed person, not seeking shelter, but somehow someone who had infringed upon the rights of the Bangladeshi people. You at times confuse the issue because you can't see principle, you see convenient politics instead.
I'm unable to hear.
Mr. Thapar, actually I'm saddened by what a seasoned person like Siddharth Bhai was saying on your channel today, and what Mr. Modi also said, because that's a line that the BJP takes. There is a concerted design of shoot and scoot and to divide. To say that those who do not observe Durga Ashtami can go back to Bangladesh has nothing to do with the providing shelter to those who are immigrants from Bangladesh or not, except to identify them on religious grounds. We must all know that the Supreme Court has clearly spoken, and so does Mr. Jaitley,
again, you sidestepped my question.
Pre-March 1971, everybody who has come has full citizenship rights. And now to divide refugees or to people who come into Hindus and Muslims is further taking the discourse at a political level which Mr. Modi wants the political discourse to stoop to. I don't think so.
You haven't answered my question, Mr. Surjewala. Let me give a chance to Mr. Shukhendu Shekhar Roy to do it.
Bengal will be made up by such polarization.
Let me bring in Mr. Shekhar Roy, because you deliberately chose not to answer my question, and the point I'm making is this: one reason why the BJP turns around and claims with even some minimal measure of credibility that Hindus are oppressed and Muslims are simply illegal immigrants is because of the nature of the response when someone like Taslima Nasreen comes to India and looks for shelter and looks for protection. She was clearly a person who was being oppressed. Her rights of freedom were being suppressed. But including the left, your party too was not at all kind and welcoming to her. You looked upon her with incredible suspicion. Now you're being paid back because the argument is being reversed against you. Do you see how your inability to stand up for principle ends up in fact making politics out of even issues where right could be on your side?
Me?
Yes, absolutely you. Absolutely you. Please go ahead. Yes, you.
Okay, that is absolutely wrong perception, because our party believes in Article 1 of the 1967 Protocol of the United Nations, whereby it is stated that no refugee can be pushed back by anybody.
When did you last stand up for Taslima Nasreen?
And he should be allowed to stay.
When did you last stand up for Taslima Nasreen?
Mr. Modi,
not Mr. Modi, Ms. Nasreen. When did you last stand up for Taslima Nasreen?
Taslima Nasreen is a stray incident. We have to respect the emotions of the minority community. We cannot create a situation that the communal disturbances flare up, because BJP wants that. BJP wants a situation where communal riot can be initiated and engineered, and now the situation is that after touring the entire country, Mr. Modi has come to understand that his so-called Gujarat development model is not being accepted by anyone. That is why he is playing the communal
Mr. Roy, is that you don't stand up for principle either. You're as expedient in the people you support and as expedient in the people you oppose.
India is not the Jaigir of Mr. Modi.
Let me bring in.
He will decide.
So let me bring in a neutral voice.
Who will not remain in India.
Let me bring in a neutral voice.
Modi cannot decide that. India is not the Jaigir of Mr. Modi.
But I just want to add a line to what
this country is no one's Jaigir. Let me be honest, this country is no one's Jaigir. That's the reason why we're questioning our politicians and asking whether there is a worrying pattern to Mr. Modi, and that's also why we're beginning to explore more deeply the strange, dubious positions taken by your party leader as well as others. Do you get the feeling, and I want to come back to that central thought we're having about Mr. Modi rather than the sidetracking we've been down, that in fact there is a pattern, that this is not an accident, and it's in fact a deliberate design on the part of the BJP during this last critical phase to raise issues of religious appeal, caste appeal, to taunt the Election Commission, because this is the best way of focusing on issues that will perhaps yield the best benefit for them?
Yes, Karan, the point is, as I said a little earlier, when when the heat rises, the temperature rises, and things start getting unclear politically, that's when the BJP in general and Mr. Modi in particular go after the Election Commission, go after the minorities, make provocative statements of all sorts. This is absolutely, there is a pattern. What I would say also is that the other parties have played into his hands. Just now we saw that debate about Taslima Nasreen. The point is that both parties have used religion when it comes to people who come here from Bangladesh as refugees, whether it is a Taslima Nasreen or somebody less well known.
Siddharth Singh, the reason why this, we still don't have Mr. Siddharth Singh, what a pity. We seem to have a terrible problem with that line. I do apologize. I want to put
a line.
He's there.
Is that Siddharth Singh? No, we don't have Siddharth Singh. Mr. Surjewala, let me put this to you. Your today's suffering because Mr. Modi has found a way, an evocative way of raising issues. And all you can do is to complain to the Election Commission about them, but he raises them in such a clever way that they skate over thin ice. There's a certain perhaps moral impropriety, but he's always on the right side of the law. Do you not have the capacity to do the same thing in your defense? Because Mr. Modi is doing it so skillfully that he's getting away with it. We may raise moral concerns in TV studios as we are, but on the ground he's getting away with it. Does that not worry you that you have no way of riposting beyond complaining to the Election Commission?
Mr. Thapar, I have two takes on that. Firstly, people of this country and cadre of the Congress party is far too strong to fall into these traps. But I shudder to think as an Indian, if you dissent and disagree with Mr. Modi, you go to Pakistan, Bangladesh or Rome, depending on which ethnicity you belong to. If you disagree with Mr. Modi, you will be spitted upon. Your property would be confiscated. If you are a Dalit, you will be abused and your women will be abused. Somebody will call you and compare your political party to a prostitute. Somebody else will promise revenge upon you. Is this the kind of India and our pluralist ethos that we are looking at and talking about? I don't think so Indian voter will vote either for BJP or Mr. Modi on these issues at all.
Let Siddharth Singh answer you. Siddharth Singh, the reason why today those questions are being raised by people like Mr. Surjewala is because although Mr. Modi keeps saying, as he said today in Dumariaganj, that the constitution is his ideology, nationalism is his mantra, in his speeches, that sentiment completely disappears. Instead, in his speeches, he's taunting the Election Commission. Amit Shah is calling Azamgarh a den of terrorists. He's taunting Bangladeshi immigrants, right? He's speaking with backdrop of Lord Ram and he's worrying people because his commitment to secularism looks almost fake. That's the reason why you're facing these questions from Randeep Singh Surjewala. Because Mr. Modi doesn't really mean it when he says the constitution is his ideology.
Well, let me put this. If Congress believe in the constitution is there, then their ideology should be protecting or stopping Bangladeshi illegal immigrants and not encouraging them to settle in India by giving them a voter ID card and ration cards. And there is enough proof. Perhaps we can do it on a day that there are a number of districts on the 24th paragraph.
You joined.
So there the demographic change has already taken place.
You're not answering my question.
What did the Bharatiya Janata Party do?
Karan, seriously, I have a very difficulty in listening and answering your question. So if I'm speaking, if you also speak, it's absolutely impossible. So please, my request is, you ask me a question, I'll try and answer. So therefore, now coming on the constitutions and also on the Ram temple, there is a matter in the court. There is a judgment which says that the Ram temple can be built there. We are not
my question was a little different. My question was, what happened to the claim that the constitution is Mr. Modi's ideology, that nationalism is his mantra? Why has he stopped exercising and implementing that sentiment? That was my issue. That was my question.
Well, let me repeat your question. Your question is that Mr. Modi said that nationalism is the part of the BJP believes in the constitution, which is nationalism. So if that is the question, let me still say, whatever we are doing, whether we are talking about the infiltration, illegal infiltration, it is part of the nationalism, and as part of the constitution we must protect it. Now if it is related to a rally in Faizabad where the Ram picture comes up,
I think
we have already clarified, but still the Congress needs to answer how come Ram become a communal person.
Ram hasn't become a communal person. Ram is not a secular person. The two are rather different points, but let's not get into a quarrel over that. I'm going to end with you. Do you get the feeling that actually our politicians, particularly when the angst is rising as you come to the end of a very difficult, tense campaign, suddenly drop their principles and expediency takes over? And that's probably true of all parties, not just Mr. Modi, although Mr. Modi is the focus of discussion tonight.
Yes, Karan, that's certainly true. They're two-faced. But in this particular case, since we have focused, or you have focused the whole discussion on the BJP and Mr. Modi, the BJP is a Janus-faced party and entity. It has two faces. Its manifesto, as we remember a conversation, has two faces. It says the Muslims are extremely poor, but we must build a temple. And the same thing, I respect the constitution, but I must rubbish a constitutional body like the Election Commission. That's Janus face.
And that
two faces.
And that in a sense is what's worrying about this whole lot of issues that have come up.
Right.
It suggests the BJP is somewhere dubious or ambiguous in what it stands for. We're going to have to end it there. My thanks to you for clarifying our thoughts for us right at the end of that discussion. My apologies to Siddharth Singh for the terrible time he had with our equipment. Once again, you can see he's struggling. Hopefully that will be something that's taken care of and put right in future. Goodbye.